All right, folks, welcome to the shop, and here's one of the more interesting things we got to talk about. So this one is a trade practices thing, and we call it, I don't know whether it's like the 10 commandments, but it's the one commandment of working on stuff. And the rule is if an oil pan plug is in the oil pan, it is tight. So you don't even put the plug in the pan unless you have the wrench or the socket in your hand to tighten it. And the reason for that is shit happens. People get distracted. It's break time. The phone rings, whatever. If the plug isn't in the pan, then it can't be tight. If it is in the pan, it's tight. If you look at the plug, it's tight as a rule. So many screw ups and total engine losses have been because guys run a plug in finger tight and they walk over to their toolbox to get the wrench, and then something else happens and then that plug never gets tight and the thing leaves the shop. So this thing's in here for wheel bearings. It just recently had an oil change, and we'll show you this change sticker on it here in a minute. And it's up in the air, and I notice my nice clean floor has a little oily mess on it. So I go, well, what in the hell? So I go and I grab a 13 mil wrench. If you were one of my employees and that vehicle left that way, it would be your last day on the job. Can't afford the liability of that. If that loses all the oil and this engine blows up, it's going to cost that shop $5,000 to $10,000 plus the damage to their reputation, etc. So I said, if that were my employee, it'd be his last day. I'm going to show you something else over here. There's an old 6.4 pan. It's basically garbage, but it's on a skid of stuff that's going out when this truck is finished. So this pan came off an engine, and when we were done draining the oil, we put the plug back in it. Even with the pan off the engine, it's really hard to do stuff with one hand. Even with the plug off the pan off the engine, it's fucking tight. Because I've seen it before in shops where you have multiple shifts, where a guy will tear a motor down or do a rear cover job or something like that, have a pan off, drain it, put the plug back in, run it in finger tight, and it's sitting there over in the corner waiting to go back on the motor. The next guy comes along, puts a pan gasket on, throws the pan on, fills it up with oil, and down the road it goes because nobody bothered to put a wrench on that. So if it's in the pan, it's tight. Period. So I don't know what oil change interval this oil change place is recommending, but you can see, I'm guessing they're doing a 10,000 interval, which is ridiculous, but that's an argument for another day. But this is your record of the oil change. And these guys are going to be getting a phone call and telling them what I found here today because they just about bought her an engine. So yeah, anyways. Thanks for watching. If it's in, it's fucking tight. If it's not tight, you're fucking fired with cause. Have a nice day. Thanks for watching.